Hello everyone and welcome to the Good Old Gamer. Hope you guys are having a great Monday and had a great weekend. Typically in these videos I go over the news that we got over the weekend. There's a few things like prices of the RX 6500 XT in Europe are getting even more ridiculous. But instead today, I just kind of want to have a chat with you guys about the big topic that is still continuing to rage on, and that is Nvidia no longer giving out MSRPs to reviewers. If you guys hadn't seen, last Wednesday, Paul and I spoke with Steve from Hardware Unboxed about this as he posted a video, I believe it was last Tuesday, going over the fact that he couldn't review a card that was coming out, I think it was that day or the day before. That conversation is continuing to rage on, and I wanted to weigh in. After taking some time, taking a step back, Steve and I did have a pretty good back and forth on that podcast. There will be a link down below so you guys can check that out. But I've framed it a little bit better, my argument, as to why you simply cannot have a review without an MSRP. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about here today, because if you and I and us as the community do not push back against this, Nvidia will obviously want to continue this practice in the future. But if they're able to continue going without MSRPs, basically you and I cannot evaluate the value of a product, and this gives the free rein for AIBs and retailers and everybody else out there to just raise prices to the moon. And to me, this is going to be a real problem in the future. So Celso and Steve, I guess they had a little chat about this over on Twitter. I don't use the Twitters, so I get this secondhand. But it seems like Steve, he made the same argument in the Techonomics podcast, where he's like, well, we can just evaluate the product and see how good it is, even if they don't have a price, and kind of gauge where they believe that it should land. Now, the issue with this thinking is that puts the reviewer in the position of trying to determine the worth of a product. And MSRP is important because it lets you know, and I know, and all of us know, that the company, so Nvidia, AMD, whoever, knows that this price point, so let's use the 3080 for example. So at $699, everybody on the supply chain can make a decent margin, whatever that is, they factor it in, and the product should be able to get into your hands at that particular price point. Now, due to supply and demand, prices will go up, of course. Typical GPU launches will always be inflated at launch because there's not enough supply, and then over about a month or two, usually those prices will come back to about the MSRP. For the majority of the life of a graphics card, traditionally, they will be at MSRP, 10% below MSRP, or about 10% higher than MSRP. So you have your big, beefy, overclocked models. They usually cost about 10% more. And then the companies that want to sell more units, or maybe they're like a smaller company, or they're trying to push a new brand, they'll sell a little bit below MSRP. And they're able to do that by cutting down the cooler and basically trimming as much cost as they can so they can get those prices there, or just accept slimmer and slimmer margins. Now, that's traditionally how things would work, and that's the reason why MSRPs are used when reviewing things, because roughly that should be around where a product should be. This is how a review can go without an MSRP. I'm going to break it down as easy as possible. So the 4080 comes out, has no price tag attached to it. So they review it, let's say it's 30% faster than the 3080 or even the 3090. So you get a 30% performance bump. It's what we saw with the 3080 over the 2080 Ti. Now, granted, we're expecting more next generation, but I'm just using this as a hypothetical example. That comes out, does not have a price. Reviewer goes, hey, this card is great. It's 30% faster than what you got last year or last time, which was supposed to be $799, wasn't, but that's where it was supposed to be. Okay, cool, that's great. It's like, hey, it's faster, that's good stuff. So, you're excited for it. Then it comes out, and let's say it has a price tag of $19.99. So you were one of the lucky few, you got a 3080 at $699 or even $799. You paid a little bit of a premium because you got it day one. Okay, now your upgrade, your 30% upgrade, which you're typically expecting to get every generation for roughly the same money, maybe a little bit of inflation calculated in, but somewhere in the neighborhood at least, is now more than double the price tag. The reviewers would not know this if there is no MSRP. If they have no price tag, they have no clue what to say. So what they told you is, go out and buy this thing, it is great. So now Nvidia has this glowing review for what would essentially be considered a terrible product in terms of price to performance. Or the other way the review could go, because you don't know the prices of these things, if you're just doing an objective analysis of product, it's like this card performs here, this card is half as fast, this card is better because it's twice as fast as the other card, buy that one. If you have no price tags, all you can say is buy the best. That's really all you're doing. This card is way faster. That's the card you should probably get. So there's really no objective way that you can actually do a review moving forward without an MSRP. And this is on us. It's up to us to speak up. We stopped GPP from happening. What was the other one that came up here recently? Oh, when they started going after Hardware Unboxed, for example, for not using ray tracing and a bunch of other stuff. We stopped that from happening as well. We have the power here, because if we don't buy their products, nobody else will. I know people think that crypto mining is going to last forever. It's not. It's not. It's going to go away. So those guys are just temporary buyers. The meat and potatoes for discrete graphics cards, by far, is the PC gaming community. There's millions and millions of people with gaming PCs with dedicated graphics in there. And without us, they have no customer base. And without a customer base, they go out of business, particularly Nvidia, because they don't really make anything else of note. So yeah, these guys need to realize that we have all the power. It's not your shareholders. You have to cater to us first, the potential customer, then your shareholders, then whoever else you want to thereafter. Yeah, so we need to remind them of that again. And the best way to do that is, number one, just don't buy the stuff, don't buy the crap, and be vocal and get other people out there talking about this. That's really the best thing that we can do, because bad press can destroy companies as bad as anything else. So just let everybody know, scream it from the hilltops, go to your favorite forums, subreddits, your favorite creators. Let's get this known that you have to have some sort of pricing target so we can actually measure performance gains generation over generation, because most people are not okay with just spending whatever it happens to cost at that point in time. Oh, today the thing's $200. Oh, tomorrow it's $25,000. You know, theoretically, without an MSRP, that could happen. Just is what it is. So we need something to tie these guys down, and that has always been the manufacturer's suggested retail price. In my eyes, you should never spend more than 10% over MSRP. Traditionally, that has always been the top tier models, like the water-cooled ones and things like that might be a little bit higher, but air-cooled models, typically 10% higher at absolute most. So, alrighty guys, those are my thoughts on this. It's really up to you. I mean, I've done my part. I've spoken to Steve. Paul did his video. This is me doing my video. Get everybody else out there talking about this. I mean, it's in their best interest if they review product. It's either become people that just do product highlights. Hey, new product, yay, shiny. Or if you want to do anything critical, you have to do it after launch. Those are only the two options that you would have in this market. And we know that for reviews, people want those on day one. And realistically, you can't do a review without MSRP. No matter how much mental gymnastics you want to do, you can't. You can only say if one thing is faster than the other, but that has no bearing. Otherwise, once again, how could you ever recommend an RTX 3060 over a 3090? 3090 is clearly faster. You take price out of the equation, there's no reason to buy a 3060 at any point in time. Well, alrighty guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please smash that like button and please share this one around. We need people to start talking. This needs to be a conversation. Nvidia cannot be allowed to get away with this. And I want to see them have an MSRP on the 3090 Ti, even though that's the one card that it really, really does not matter. That card right there, if they do put an MSRP on it, it's because you guys spoke up. You guys put the pressure on, and you forced them to put a cap as to where that card should possibly be. So, alrighty guys, that's it for me here today. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.